For Fox Sports Next, I'm Annabel Stephan alongside national recruiting analyst Greg Biggins, here to talk the top uncommitted prospects in the West Coast. Greg, looking across the board, the position that really stands out the most is the defensive back position. Starting up in the Bay Area, you got LJ Moore out of Fresno, Johnny Johnson out of Fresno. What are your thoughts on the latest in their recruitments?
I mean, right now it sounds like they're both probably leaning a little bit to UCLA. I think there was a thought that Hatari Bird, who's committed to Oklahoma, might be a three-way deal, a trifecta, if you will, for the Bruins. But I think Johnny has been pretty consistent saying UCLA and Stanford are his top two schools. Hasn't applied to Stanford yet, and that's obviously a huge deal. The application's about this thick to get into Stanford. So I think Johnny right now, if it's down to those two schools, Cal's still kind of involved, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, but I think the main two are UCLA and Stanford. I think it's probably pretty good for UCLA, and LJ is going to take his trips. You know, Notre Dame is an option. I think Cal's still trying hard, Oregon State's still trying hard, but it sounds like UCLA is kind of where his heart is at too, so I think right now UCLA has a good chance to get both those two players.
LJ is going to be at that game on Saturday versus Houston. Now, in the past couple of weeks, UCLA has put up a really great performance in front of a lot of the recruits. What do you think a big performance this weekend would mean for his recruitment?
I mean, not to downgrade, but it's Houston, so I don't think you get the same kind of response that you did when they beat Nebraska. I mean, Nebraska was a ranked team, they're a traditional power. Houston had a great team last year with Coach Sumlin. He's gone, they're 0-2. So I think this is the week where you're expecting UCLA to win by 4, and if they don't, it's going to be like, oh, UCLA. So I don't know if you're going to see a lot of buzz coming from this game unless they lose, but I don't know if they're going to be that big of a reaction. But, you know, I think you always want to see your teams win, and if UCLA continues to win, not just this week, but Oregon State, and keep going down the schedule, you might see more guys, your Johnnies, your LJs, obviously Jahan Goodman, Tyler Foreman, a lot of great DBs, which that's been the theme the whole year, is this is the year of the DB. A lot of them are still out there right now.
You mentioned Jahan Goodman. He's probably one of the most highly sought-after prospects, and he's really wanting to take his time in his recruitment, kind of plays things close to the vest. What's your take on everything?
I mean, he does play it pretty close to the vest. It's not, if you ever want to know about Jahan, you almost have to go around Jahan and talk to other people close to him. I know in the summer, late in the summer around Gridiron King time, there was a lot of talk about him and USC, and if that was going to come together or not. Did he give a silent? Did he back off of it? No one knows except for those two parties. But I do feel like USC is still involved, even though they have the limited numbers. I think he's that good. You know, he's that good. UCLA is trying hard. So is LSU. So is Notre Dame. So is Nebraska. Those are all the schools he's mentioned before. The Florida schools. I mean, everybody's trying with him. He does want to take his time. I think he's mentioned before, maybe an Army game announcement. Maybe that happens. Maybe it doesn't. I think it's going to be a case of if he takes his trip and he feels comfortable enough to announce, but he won't do it. He won't be pressured. My gut is I think he stays closer to home. UCLA, USC, Washington is also really heavily involved. He loved Washington. I think it could be a school on the West Coast. This is my gut.
The other player that you mentioned out of Encino Crespi is Tyler Foreman, whose recruitment really blew up over the summer. Just started out with 1 or 2 offers and now has a big group of offers. What's the latest on him?
Big fan. I mean, I think he's really good. I mean, it's the year of the safety. There's, you know, Sua, Max Redfield. He's there. I mean, he's right with those guys. Big physical guy with, you know, who can play and cover. Again, not to beat a dead horse, but UCLA, again, he kind of keeps coming back to them. They're heavily involved with Tyler. You know, Oklahoma, he's going to take a trip there. Cal is trying hard with him too. Cal is still being very aggressive with the Southern California players. But again, you talk to the people kind of around that Crespi program, and they all think that UCLA's got a great chance to land him. At one thought, we thought, you know, they wouldn't have room for him. We thought Hatari Bird would be going there, but with Hatari out, they might have room to get all these guys. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but UCLA does have a good chance with Tyler Foreman right now as well.
Another prospect who is a very hot commodity out of Arizona is Priest Willis, who actually was at that UCLA-Nebraska game last weekend. What is the latest on his recruitment?
Again, you keep hearing UCLA is really involved and has been for some time. Priest, like Jahan, they both play it very, very closely. The whole package deal, I don't really buy into that at all. I think if it happens, they are close, but I don't really buy into the whole package thing. But I do think right now UCLA is doing pretty well with Priest. They have been for a while. USC, again, they're out of scholarships, but they are trying hard with Priest. He's that good. He's that worth it. Notre Dame is going to get a visit. So is LSU. So is Nebraska. Those three are set in stone. He said he wants to visit a Florida school. Again, him and Jahan might take their trips together. But again, I think West Coast-wise, I think he's got a chance to stay out west. I think he likes it out here. And I think if signing day was tomorrow, I think UCLA would probably have the best chance to land him.
For a second, let's pretend that you are part of that staff. You have all of these top defensive backs who are wanting to come to your school. Who would you take?
God, put me on the spot. I would probably go with Priest. I mean, I love versatility, and I think he's a guy that can play 2 positions. He can play strong, three positions. He can play strong, free, or corner. I mean, he's big enough to play free, tough enough to play strong. He can cover. He's fast enough to play corner. Right now, we have him as our number one corner in the West, that's a prime position as a corner. Quarterback, receiver, corner. I mean, those are hard to find, those guys. He's our number one guy. He has the versatility. If he grows out of that position, he can play safety. He'd probably be my guy, but I mean, they're all pretty good, but I'm a Priest Willis guy.
Another guy out of Arizona, Cole Luke, really looking at USC, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and Texas. In your opinion, what do you think is going on there?
UCLA is not involved with Cole Luke, so I can feel good about saying that. Again, I think for a while there we thought that Oregon was involved in maybe the in-state schools, ASU, Arizona, especially ASU, but he decided he wants to go out of state. USC is an interesting, again, USC is still recruiting him, and he has a high interest there, and they already have a couple of pretty good, cover corners right now. Chris Hawkins being one local guy that we've seen a lot, but, they're still recruiting Cole. Notre Dame, Texas is the one trip he has set up, and I don't think he has a lead. I don't think we can even speculate or guess on that one, but those four schools are all heavyweight programs for sure. I'm as curious as anybody to see what Cole Luke's going to do.
Switching positions a bit, out of Upland High School, you have defensive end JoJo Mathis, an explosive player that we both saw throughout the summer. I actually have had the opportunity to watch in a game-like setting. Very impressed with him. And JoJo has offers from all over the country, really looking at Washington, Texas A&M, Nebraska, Alabama, I mean, everywhere. And it kind of seems like that list is always changing as well. If you were to fast forward a couple of months to National Signing Day, where do you think you would see him play?
I mean, that'd be the last guy I would try to predict. And it's nothing personal against JoJo. He's a fun kid to be around. It's just, I don't think you never know. You never know with him from one week to the next. And I know he's been pretty consistent with the schools you just threw out there. But again, you mentioned he went to UCLA and saw them beat Nebraska. Now he likes UCLA. What if UCLA loses next week? Does he drop them and go for someone else? I mean, you just don't know. I know in the summer, I kind of was getting the feeling he was really into the whole Washington thing. And that was the school, hard to believe, he actually committed to Washington, a year and a half ago or so. Tosh Lupo is he's the D-line coach. He's the great recruiter that he is. He's on this guy personally, and I think he likes Washington a lot. Will he go that far from home to an Alabama? Michigan, you say, isn't really involved anymore. Texas A&M, I really can't say. My gut is he's going to stay closer to home, but my gut doesn't really give me a whole lot on JoJo. Great football player, though. I think he plays with a motor. He plays with an edge. He's an outside guy, an inside guy. I know he lost a lot of weight in the summer, and I personally like him a little heavier, to be honest with you. I thought he lost some of his strength when he got so light, and at the opening, I think he was able to maybe get pushed around a little bit more than I've ever seen him pushed around. So I like him a little heavier. I still think his best position might be that 3-tech on the inside. He doesn't want to hear that at all. I'm an outside guy, maybe even an outside linebacker. But as a defensive end, just a guy with a motor who just goes and plays mean, plays aggressive, and he will rip your head off and smile at you after doing it. So great football player, but I couldn't even guess. And I'm like I said, I'm curious to see what he's going to do come February.
I think JoJo's recruitment is a reminder that a good season can really affect things for a prospect, whether or not he's already committed.
Absolutely.
One last guy to talk about, offensive tackle J.D. Hannon out of Fountain Valley High School, and he's another guy whose recruitment really picked up over the past couple of months. Seems he has offers from all over the Pac-12, including and then another couple of Ivy League schools and all over the country. Yeah. What are your thoughts on him?
I mean, I was thinking Oregon for a long time, but then I've heard some buzz, and I know you're going to go see him tonight, so you'll be able to confirm this. I heard him and Oregon might be maybe going their separate ways a little bit. I'm not sure. I know Oregon just picked up a commitment, so do they have room for JD right now? You'll let us know. But he's a very athletic kid, and I love that about him. He plays tackle for Fountain Valley. Oregon wants him as a guard because he can move, and they like those fast, guys with feet that can get out and run that offense. Maybe the most athletic of the guard tackle types that are still on the board, if not the most athletic guy. A good list of schools going after him. Very talented kid, and right now I'm not sure who the leader was. I thought it was going to be Oregon, but we'll see. Thomas Doherty.
Wide receiver, tight end, Mater Dei High School. Yes. We've both seen him play. A lot of people are after him. What were your thoughts on after being able to watch him in a game?
Tremendous talent. I mean, you see a lot of guys with wearing shirts and shorts. And you go, oh yeah, he's good, but pads, how is he? I mean, he is better in pads because you see the defensive side of him. And last night had a chance to watch him play. It's a pretty good Santa Monica team, and he had 3 sacks in the first quarter, all over the field. Outside, I mean, he's a natural outside linebacker, 6'3", 225. He's kind of leaned out a little bit. He's really quick and athletic now. Probably the best set of hands of any of the receiver tight end types in the West Coast. Does not drop anything. Had a touchdown late in the first half. I mean, he's just a mismatch problem. I mean, you can't cover him as a linebacker, just too quick. Safeties, he's too big. You have to have, I think, a kind of a unique offense for him to fit in, because he's not your prototypical tight end, not your prototypical receiver either, but he's offense, defense. He is a great player. He mentioned, kind of the usual suspects. He mentioned Notre Dame, he likes a lot. UCLA, USC, he's still trying to get that offer from SC. That's kind of like the childhood favorite, I think. Oregon, he's really, really high on. Washington, he took a visit there in the summer and loved it there. Those are the 5 schools. He's pretty high, but he's going to, pretty consistent, say, I want to take all my trips after the season is over. I want to focus on modern day football right now. Might not be until January we find out what he's going to do. So I think he's pretty open right now.
One thing's for certain, it's a long way until National Signing Day. Anything can happen in the high school football and recruiting world. But keep it here at Fox Sports Next as we continue to bring you the latest updates. Alongside Greg Biggins, I'm Annabel Stephan, Fox Sports.